It's not an employee relationship, it's a parent-child relationship.
We thought some protections were warranted.
Representative Doug Owens says seeing the child abuse case against Ruby Franke made it clear to him that kids need more protections, even from their parents.
We can trust parents to look out for kids, but not always.
So we're starting to see some small baby steps in the way of bills being created to try and, offer protection for influencer children. Influencer children, specifically in the state of Utah, which it was a bill that was going to be put forward, as I will explain shortly in an article that I'm going to be reading out. But a bill was going to be put forward anyway to offer more protection for child actors. And now, after seeing the catastrophicness of the 8-passenger situation, it really has shone a light on family vlogging as a whole. And they're wanting to implement, child influencer children of family vloggers, children that are exploited online. I'm not exactly sure what this bill will entail, but we're going to be reading a little bit more about it. But, I feel that these kind of bills have been passed around. I've spoken about a few states in America. They've put stuff forward. I know that in Europe as well. I don't think in the United Kingdom we currently have anything like this. I may be wrong. But I do know that in some other countries, some neighbouring countries, they have put forward this as well. It minimises the fact that parents can't just exploit their kids and not save any of this money. They're kind of treated more on par with child actors. Of course, every country is different, but we are going to be reading this, and I do just think that it's a step in the right direction. It's never going to happen overnight where we're going to see family vlogging like just banned, or you can't show your kids online, because I don't honestly think that will ever be the case. I think that what will happen is that it's going to become increasingly more and more not worthwhile to the parents if they are not, keeping all of that money for themselves. That's just my own thoughts and feelings on it. Also keep in mind that this is just a proposed bill. This isn't something that is going forward or will be going forward. It's just something that is going to be proposed.
Already working on a law to protect child actors, he's rewriting it to include protections for kids used in social media videos. Much of that protection comes down to money.
So the headline reads, a proposed bill would offer protections to children used in social media influencer videos. Salt Lake City, KUTV, Utah has become a central hub for family-focused influencers who are increasingly sharing their lives online and turning it into a source of income. Currently in Utah, there are a few labour protections for the children required to make all this content. As far as specific laws for social media influencers, there's really not anything that the Utah Labour Commission enforces, said Utah Labour Commission spokesman Eric Olson. State law limits what jobs a minor under 16 can have and what hours they can work, but if they're not a regular employee of a registered business, there may be little oversight. And just going to pause to reflect on this. This is the problem that a lot of people who are for family vlogging don't quite understand, is that whether you like it or not, these kids, even if they're not being used for ads, which a lot of them do end up being used for ads and being, shown on TikToks, Insta Reels, YouTube videos, etc., they can be filmed, it can take hours to be filming something for this and hours to film something for that. They could be daily vlogging, it could be taking up the whole of their day. Their privacy is then completely trashed, and you've then got just 10, 15 years worth of their life just put online. That is a lot of hours, and people say, oh, well, it's only a 20-minute video. But the thing is that there's a lot of footage that people will then cut out. A lot of it does get cut out before the final cut. You only have to look at kind of behind the scenes. I remember when the Saucony Jolies did this, and Jonathan was showing Stacey Dooley how he manages to get content, and he basically just carries around a camera whenever anything mundane or slightly mundane, when anything in his eyes was slightly interesting, he'd be filming. It would be right there, and it's like the kids are always working. And that is the massive difference between a child actor and a family vlogger child or an influencer kid. I do think that there is a really big difference there, and it's just complete unregulated work time. And very few rules currently apply if it is a parent using children in their influencer videos. It doesn't really apply then. It is not an employee relationship, it is a parent-child relationship. State Rep Doug Owens said seeing the child abuse case against Franke made it clear to him that children need more protection even from their parents. Yeah, massively. And the really sad thing is that it takes something grand like this to happen for it to really cast a light onto what exactly is a root of a problem, because people are now bringing up the fact that prior to Jodie and Ruby getting together, I'm not talking about this timeline, we're talking about when the 8 Passengers channel was up and running and it was Kevin and Ruby. There were massive red flags going on over here. There were massive problems going on. And you only had to watch like so much of their content for you to realise this shouldn't be on here. These kids are not being treated fairly. They're like walking paychecks to these parents. And it happens a lot of the time, and I think that statement is so powerful. They're not even protected from their own parents. I can think of many family vloggers that are still going right now, where I do think I don't think that the parents have the kids' best interest at heart. Usually we can trust parents to look out for kids, but not always, said Owens. He was already working on a bill that would create protection for child actors in Utah, but said he is now rewriting it to include protections for children used in online videos. Much of that protection comes down to money, and I can, without hearing like the full front of it, sorry I keep on talking, but it would be quite hard to monitor most other aspects, such as length of time working, the amount of schooling versus working they're doing. It's quite hard to monitor because, of course, you're talking about people in their own home. Even if you were to try and monitor it, parents might lie, but the only way they're going to be able to actually clamp down on it is by stopping the parents from taking all the money, which I can understand how they might be able to do that. But everything else, like working hours and things, you'd have to have some really honest parents. If the children are being a substantial part of the income earning for that family, then the kids ought to be entitled to some protection down the road. When it comes to other protections in the proposed law, he said they will apply to professional acting and entertainment, but even in this bill, social media is a different story. In the professional context, as opposed to filming in the home when they are just trying to display family life, we couldn't do that, Owen said. He added that it's clear state law is struggling to adjust to how the world is changing, and then goes on to say, I think all of us are a little bit late, running for catch up. We're always a day late and $1 short when it comes to social media.
Story.
In the professional context, as opposed to filming in a home where they're just trying to display family life, we couldn't do that.
He says it's clear state law is still struggling to adjust to how the world is changing.
I think all of us are playing catch up with social media. We're always a day late and $1 short, it seems.
See, my personal opinion is I think the whole entire world is incredibly late and has actually really not bothered to take much interest in, the fact that families and parents exploit their children online, take the money, exploit their childhood, etc., etc. I think a lot of people have, who actually do have the power to try and have a say and create bills and things to do with this. I think a lot of people do just have their blinkers on, and I'm not sure if that's from a monetary gain perspective or just because people are not realizing just how severe it really is. But I'm glad that at least something or someone is talking about it. Especially in the state of Utah as well, because I believe that is where, Ruby Franke is from and her family. And, if this means that there's been enough hubbub created about this for people to actually take notice of it, then I think that is a massive step in the right direction. Especially as there are actually quite a few family vloggers, either from Utah or live in Utah. I swear I've seen quite a few of them dotted about. Not that I've ever been to Utah, but I've seen quite a few of them dotted around on YouTube. So I do think it is a step in the right direction. It's a small step, but at least it's acknowledgement. That's what I've always said whenever these kind of things come out. I just think it's acknowledgement, but it's like tragic that this is what has to happen before anyone takes any notice of what a lot of people have been saying for a long time. And I think every country should really take note, because there's a lot of countries that are slacking. I'm pretty sure the UK is slacking over here. Like, a lot of places are slacking on this, and times are changing. But you know, family vloggers and things, they've been around for quite a while now, and you know, you feel like you're just kind of like shouting into the abyss because it really does take something big to happen for anyone to listen. But that is just my thoughts and feelings. Ultra short, ultra sweet, but I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I will catch up with you guys in the next video.
This takes a very strong soul, because most of us are not even willing to consider not having our children in our lives. And I hope that you'll reconsider.